Well, welcome to episode 7 of Me Nonsense. I'm super excited.
Oh, I could take it on my headphones.
Hello. I have my panel of mothers, my amazing queens, my sisters, along with me today, and I'm super excited. We are discussing the beautiful journey of motherhood and all there is to it. The ins and the outs. We're gonna try to touch it all today. But first I just wanna thank my guests, Chanel, Ney, and Rosalind for joining us. Introduce yourselves, say a little something to the people.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
I'm over here checking to see who joined. How are you? I have never been live before.
Ney Ney, I miss you.
I miss you more. I know I haven't seen you forever.
I've seen Rosalind recently, but I haven't seen Janae in a minute.
I know.
Since your daughter's birthday party, that's when I seen you.
Yeah.
That's the last time.
I think that was the last time I seen you too.
I know.
Crazy. Thank you everybody who's joining us.
I know. I'm looking to see.
We going?
Oh.
ETRR Legendary Lifestyle. Hello. I don't know your real name. Don't know the government, but I'm gonna say the Instagram name. Just Queen.
Hold on, y'all.
Just Being Jade. Thank you for joining. If we have mothers in the viewers in the audience, give me a little hey or star. Give me a star. Give me a star if you're a mom, or a mother figure that includes, an auntie or, godmom or something like that. Hello. Malcolm. Hello, husband. Thank you for joining.
I see him in there. Hello.
All right. So we're gonna get started. Because I know we were a little late, and I do apologize about that. We're on CP time, but we're not too bad. Huh?
No, Star is like over here in my ear because she's about to leave the house. She grown now.
Hey, Star.
I'm going back out with Val, and I'm like, what time is it?
Oh, stop, Ross.
See? I ain't there yet. See? Going out with your friends and all that. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Girl, no, you ain't ready. You're not ready for that.
From being with her friends, another set of friends. So now she's going out with her best friend.
She's going back out, so she can't change, you know what I mean? Right. We used to do the same thing, though. Yeah. But now we're mothers, so it's different.
It feels
different. I feel like it just kind of remind me of myself. Like when I was that age, like except for on a more lazier level, because my kid is lazy.
Yeah, how our parents felt about us.
My kid is lazy. She like we was out. We was like out going to parties, going to skating ring, doing things. These jokers like want to be on TikToking and
they don't really do too much.
They don't really go nowhere too much. Like they may go out to the movies or something like, but I don't know.
If they go out amongst each other, they on their phone.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's different. It's
so
a different generation. We definitely have more fun. So let's go around. Let's say how many kids you have and how old they are. I have 2 kids, a son and a daughter. My son is 3 and my daughter is 1. And I have no more. Psych.
You got your girl.
Lies. Clink. That's a lie. It's a whole lie. Don't believe it.
Don't wish it on my uterus.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I'm the daddy.
I'm daddy.
Whitney.
Well, I'm Chanel. I have 4 kids currently, and I'm having the last of the season.
One in there.
In August.
Oh.
My oldest is 15. Then I have an 11-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a soon-to-be 2-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then a newborn.
And then about to have a whole newborn. Yeah, I'm kind of crazy. Y'all can tell me.
Right on. Let's do it.
I'm gonna take my
Alcohol-free wine.
I don't know how
Not endorse drinking while you're pregnant. Mimi does not endorse that. Okay? This is
alcohol-free.
They don't pay us, so we're not going to do that. But it's alcohol-free. All right.
I have my beautiful daughter. She's turning 1 in October. So, yeah, I plan on having more. So I don't know about 4, but maybe one more. Maybe one
more. Yeah, I know you're gonna have another one.
Not right now.
Not right now. Okay, and I have a 20-year-old, and then I have a stepdaughter that's 10, and I do want a boy. I want a boy within the next 2 years. That's my goal.
Yes.
But if the baby's not a boy, you know, a healthy baby.
If it's a girl, then another girl, then you just have all girls.
There's somebody who got.
That's what God wants. That's what God wants.
I said somebody got the boy and the girl.
Right. I got the boy and the girl, but I really thought I was gonna have another boy though, honestly.
But it took me 4 tries to get my boy, so I mean.
Oh wow.
That was crazy.
I got all girls. All 4 of them are girls.
Oh yeah.
That's
You're carrying a boy now. Aw. See, Rosie.
Yeah, I want a mama's boy. Just give me my mama's boy, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm so happy. My oldest is all my mother. She is nana. Then my stepdaughter is all my husband, and I have nobody. So, you know, I want my mama's boy.
Oh man, I'm gonna send that energy your way.
Yes, please.
Pushing it to the phone. All right, so I wanted to open up the discussion. We have a few people here that joined. Thank you for joining. D24931 DC Woods _ just crazy names. Hey y'all. All right. So what is motherhood? So of course, like the dictionary, like Oxford Dictionary describes motherhood as like the state of being a mother. They leave it just so simple and like plain. Like the state of being a mother, like right, like huh? Like okay. So I'm like, to me, motherhood is very complex. Like I'm pretty sure we all feel that way. It's a complex responsibility or project that everyone thinks they have the manual to. However, with every different mother or project calls its own manuals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we all have our own child. They all react to different things. I feel like, it's good to take advice, but nobody knows your child like you. And, it might not work for your kid.
And every child is different. Even your own. Like,
really.
No one
different
child
kids.
is exactly the same.
So, and no mother does it like another. Right? Everybody's different. So, yes, we have similar experiences and provide advice when possible. However, we all use it in our own special way. Shout out to all the mothers out there. We just all trying to be our best, right? And better than yesterday. So let's all remember to be gentle with each other because it's hard. It's hard out here in these streets.
Very much so.
Hard out here in these streets. Everybody going through a different stage of motherhood. I like this panel right now because everybody got different journeys. I feel good about it. So question number 1. Let's get the questions rolling. Y'all ain't got a date night.
No, don't rush. Part of motherhood right here.
I wanted to put her on blast real quick. She said, no. Wait, what?
No, I'm about to say, no, don't rush.
Nah, I ain't rushing. I was playing. All right, so the first question for the panel and I is, do you feel a woman is ever ready for motherhood?
No.
No, not at all.
I don't think so either.
There's no planning. There's no,
Mm-mm.
I need to be financially stable.
Nope.
There's no, I need to have this or this or this. Mm-mm. No one is ever truly ready for motherhood at all. Like, there's simply,
it's just impossible.
It's
probably impossible to do.
It's almost impossible to
I just
be
knew it was
absolutely
time.
ready for motherhood.
I knew it was time to be a mother for me.
You knew it was time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't all the way together with everything, and no one ever is, but
Right.
I just felt like I wasn't even in the best situation, and I felt like, I don't know, it was just like a calling to feel like I'm obviously making a child, but also just feeling like I needed someone in my life, because I honestly never knew I could love someone as much as I did until I had my daughter. So like, it was just a journey, and I felt like it was just needed at that time. So I think I was getting ready to be a mother. I don't know. It was just weird. I had a weird experience where it was just like, okay, this is happening, and I was getting prepared for it. But I think you're not 100% ready, but I think that it's just an alignment in your life. So it's just like something that's going to get you ready for it. So it was just, I don't know. I had like a different experience with thinking about it like that. Like, but it's always going to be different. That's going to come along with it. But I don't know. I felt like I was just in that place where I was ready to be a mother.
I knew you was going to have a baby a year before you even got pregnant. We talked about that. I'm like, you're gonna get pregnant.
Well, I ate in my head when I wanted to have a child, and I just was like, no, it's not gonna happen. Then it happened. I don't know. I couldn't even believe I was pregnant. I was like, wait a minute, this is happening. And then it was just happening. It's a weird feeling though. I can't really explain it. Like when people ask me how does it feel, it's just like, I don't know.
To be pregnant?
Or to just be a mother, period. But pregnant, I was sick. You knew I wasn't.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that question.
Yeah,
but I don't feel like anybody can really be
100%.
Can be ready. Like you said, nobody can really watch. Like I tried to like watch. Dang, the show not even on no more. But what's the show? Ah! Oh my god! I'm having a brain fart. It's the show they used to like basically be in a living room with women, showing like the whole process, and they used to be mad graphic. It was on the Discovery or TLC or something.
TLC Special Delivery or something.
Was it Special Delivery?
It probably was, but I know it was on TLC.
Yeah,
probably.
So I used to like look it up on YouTube because I couldn't find it on TV no more. I guess it was that old, but I used to be like, I want to know like what it looked like, what it feel like, I was trying to just know every nook and cranny, asking everybody how it felt, try to explain like, well, how it feel like this. It feel like what? Like cramps like times 20, like cramps like somebody punching you, like what? Like, I was trying to be prepared, but nothing prepared me. Like those videos did not help. I was still in that living room like
both times.
You was OD dramatic, Whitney.
But well, the second time was crazy. We're gonna get to that. Don't rush me. Okay, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna be more. Because y'all wanna talk. Yes, I feel good about it. I feel good about it. Oh, see, that's the next question. Perfect. I felt the energy. So how old were you when you had your first child? Would you change anything about your pregnancy? And if you have numerous kids or pregnancies, were they different and how? So like, how old were you? Let's start there. How old were you when you first had your first kid or your child? I was 29.
Oh, damn.
I was 29.
I was 17.
What was I? 28.
Oh wow.
And I was 13.
Yes.
A little bit of OG game, just a little bit.
Yes. Now, would you change anything about your pregnancy? How was your pregnancy, Roz, at 13? Like, how was that?
To be honest,
You were super young.
Like a blank because it was a detachment. We wasn't supposed to keep Star. So being that we wasn't supposed to keep Star, it was no type of relationship. I don't remember, the movements. I don't have any ultrasound pictures. I don't have any maternity pictures. It was hidden from the rest of my family. Like, Johnny didn't know until after Star was born, and we decided to keep her. So that is like a big blur.
Right.
Blur. So, yeah.
Wow. That's deep. Sis.
So, yeah, she's supposed to go to my aunt. Well, she's passed now. She passed a couple years ago, but she was supposed to adopt her. She lived in Atlanta. Okay. And, my mother made the decision in the living room after she held her. My mother cut the umbilical cord, and she held her. We cannot give her up. We can't give her away.
Oh, what's my baby?
So sweet. And that's probably why they so close like that now. They got that bond that from the first time she held her. That's crazy.
That's baby. My mommy's
wow, that is super special. Get my wine. But what do you talk about, Roz? That's my daughter. Everybody get that wine. Get that wine. Yes, we all love Star. Star is a star. Okay.
You know how many mommy Star has and how many daddy Star has? Like, when I say it's a whole village to help raise her. It's literally a whole village to help raise her.
And that's the key, man. That really is the key. Oh man. My charger is upstairs. I think. Okay. So would I change any about my pregnancy? So I was 29 when I had my first kid, and then I was 31 when I had my second kid. So it was really like back to back. I started late, so I tried. Well, I'm not gonna say I tried to get over with because my second child, Malaya, was not planned. She was my oops baby. I could say Malcolm. I probably was trying. Like I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing. Like I was fresh in love and and all of that. So I knew what we was doing. But the second time I really wasn't trying. Like I had birth control, like and all of that, and that shit didn't work. Okay. So Malaya kicked through that door like, boom. Okay, like, okay, I was pregnant as hell. The pregnancy was different. I say man. I call him man. Malcolm he was perfect. Like it was perfect. He didn't have me super fat. I was eating stuff like I wasn't allergic to nothing with him. Like I didn't have no pains. Like it was the labor was alright. Of course the contractions was bad. I got the epidural because I'm a punk. I don't like to feel no pain. I will pop a Tylenol real fast. Like, nope, I don't want to, nope, I'm not bearing nothing. That's why they make the medicine. So you don't have to bear it. Life is short. Why go through pain? So, give me the epidural, I had epidural both times. But with Malaya, I started having contractions. I went into labor while I was driving. So the second time was a whole dramatic situation, Rosalind. I wasn't being dramatic. The situation was a dramatic situation. It was a dramatic situation.
So both of it.
It was a lot to do with. I was driving and then thank God with my fiance.
While you was driving, they just came out of nowhere?
They came out of nowhere.
Oh wow.
But thank God I wasn't by myself. I was with Malcolm the first. I was about to call him senior. He hated when I call him that.
Oh, about to slip out.
Malcolm the first.
The big one.
Thank God he was in the car because, he took over and I started to do my little exercises and breathing and stuff. And during the whole pregnancy with Malaya, I had the sciatic nerve on my left side. That was bad. All up in here. Girl, it was bad. So Malaya just kicked my ass. I had a thyroid issue with Malaya. I had to get on medication because I had a hypertension, whatever. She was hyper.
I know
she was hyper.
Huh? That's okay.
Yeah. It was up there. It wasn't slowing down. It was speeding up. It was
was producing too much. Like, it was producing too much. Yeah, so she had my, like, hormones out of whack, I think, because then around my second trimester, third trimester, my thyroid stuff. The ladies, get your thyroid checked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get that shit is real. It runs in African American women too, our age in the 30s, and look up the side effects. It's very common. But yeah, so she had me all fucked up, y'all. It was different, but then she slid right out. Like the actual labor was easier than Malcolm. Malcolm actually had to push.
She was ready,
but Malaya was just like, wee. Ney, how was your experience? Did you get epidural?
I sure did.
I want to say, because you probably thugged it out.
I tried.
I didn't have one with Star.
Oh, you did? That's because Roz was like, you only gonna need it. Everybody in my family. My mother didn't get one with me.
I didn't have one. Not to cut you off, Johnny, but I didn't have one because the midwife that I had says it messes with her heart rate and all this other stuff, and so she was like, "Don't get it." So I didn't have one. I just. I think then, body wise, I was tougher then than I am now.
Right.
So if I was to do it again, because when we got pregnant the last time and we went through what we went through, it was the worst pain ever. So I'm like, how did I do this at 13?
Right.
How did I go through contractions at 13? And I can't go through contractions and I'm 30. I cried with cramps. So I'm like, how did I do that?
I don't know. For me, I literally kept trying to tell myself, I don't need it. But overall, my pregnancy with Jayla was, I was in bed for 3 months. The first 3 months, I couldn't move. I was like, oh, I'm fine. Everybody was like, oh, you're moving, you're active. And I was like, well, let me just start this from this. I kind of knew I was pregnant instantly. Like, I was drinking like tea. I was working at this job. I drank some tea, and I'm like, I think I feel well. And this girl I was working with was like, you're probably pregnant. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Then my one other friend saw me on camera. She's like, you guys look like you're pregnant. Like, everybody, and I'm like, I don't think I'm pregnant. I took a test. I mean, like, when she, like, Jerry, seriously, like, literally when she was conceived, I literally tested the next week and I was pregnant. I literally, after, like, I found out I was pregnant on the 21st of January. She was conceived on around that time. Like, literally 2 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. And I was, like, up and active, and then I could not move. Like, I literally was throwing up. I lost, like, 20 pounds. Like, she had me, like, I couldn't even move. And so through that, it was just like, hey, this is not going to last. So I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because they always say, like, they try to diagnose you with HG. I forget now. See, I'm about to do it now. I don't know what it's called. But HG, but it's like,
HG,
okay. Hold down anything. So I'm very nervous with that. Then there were people who saying like, oh, you get sick. That's kind of normal. But for me, it was just like, it wasn't working. So literally after those 3 months, I don't know what came out. Like, I literally just got a burst of energy. And for me, the birth was a long labor. Like, I had contractions for like a whole day, like straight. I felt them. I didn't know what it was. I'm like, okay, I think this is happening.
I didn't know what it was. I knew what it was. I was like, whoa.
I knew what it was.
I literally was there like, okay, I think this is happening. But I was impatient. I went and got they call it a membrane sweep. Yeah. I wanted like, she was a week late.
Oh yeah, I heard of that.
Yeah, she was a week late.
When you like late, like
she was a week late, and I get induced.
So it was a little late.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, let's try it. Labor, I got the epidural. She came right out after that. I was like, I should have got it early.
Oh, she getting ready for her stories.
Oh yeah.
No.
Let's
look. Come, let me give you some more wine. We got 4 labors to talk about. I think everybody gonna need wine.
And they all
Johnny got some water. Look, that's healthy. Nice and healthy.
I know. I want some wine though. You making me want some.
You still breastfeeding? Can't have none.
I was about to ask you that.
I
What? If still breastfeeding.
I can still
I'm getting my baby drunk with that wine milk.
be over there. She all right.
She'll be alright. Why would no handy in that?
Right, exactly. As long as they ain't no hard liquor. Yeah.
Right. We in business.
Well, guys. So as I said before, I had 4 children. My first was at 17. Very scary. It was very different than all the rest of my pregnancies. However, I done been through some stuff with all of these kids. At 17, my pregnancy in the beginning was very normal, so to speak. I didn't have any sicknesses. I didn't have any of that. Obviously, I wasn't trying to get pregnant at 17, but hey, it's what it is. All in God's timing, all in God's plans. When I was about 20 weeks and I got my first actual, I think it was like an anatomy ultrasound. I had the ultrasound, went home. Mind you, I'm 17, so of course they called my mother. Instead of calling me, they called my mother. My mom calls me right away, like, no, you got to get back to the hospital and get right back there now. I'm like, why? What happened? She was like, just go to the hospital now. I'll meet you there.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, oh, damn, here we go. So I get back to the hospital and the doctor just starts talking to me, explaining all these things to me. Meanwhile, I'm just like completely zoned out.
Yeah.
Like not even like in tune with what he's saying to me. And I just like remember this like it was like yesterday because it was so crazy. What he explained to me then was that I have a short cervix. And because I have a short cervix, my child was already starting to come out. I didn't have any contractions. I didn't have anything. But my cervix had effaced so much and my cervix started to dilate that like basically her hand was starting to come out. And I had to go into emergency surgery at 20 weeks. And I had to get what they call a cerclage done and put that in place. They basically had to ease her hand back up my cervix and up my canal and stitch me to hold the baby. At that point,
I got chills. Wait.
I carried her to about maybe 35 weeks. And then I went into full contraction mode and went into labor. It was crazy. It was scary. That was probably the most scariest experience that I had as a teenager. But she's here. She's great. She's an amazing kid. I mean, there's not much else I can say. She was meant to be here, for sure. My second one, that didn't go great at all. We already knew about the cervix, so every time I ever get pregnant, I have to get my cervix stitched up. So we do it as like a preventative action now. So instead of waiting till 20 weeks, they do it as early as 14 weeks. So once I get past that 12-week stage, they do it between 14 and 16 weeks now. And so second child in, we go, we know what we got to do. All right, cool. We should be good. Still no like morning sickness, anything like that. Go through my pregnancy at about 24 weeks now. I went to the doctor. They did everything they needed to do. And they came back and told me I had something called cervical sludge. What's that? Right. I was like 21. What is that? What is cervical sludge now? So basically what they explained was cervical sludge is like when what am I trying to say? Sorry, I'm having a brain fart, guys. I'm pregnant. Please forgive me.
Yeah.
And I ain't when the membranes in your inside of your womb, inside the amniotic fluid, that there's something in it that it's causing it to like leak or something within your cervix. Okay, cool. They gave me an amniocentesis. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's a needle about this big that goes in the middle of your navel And they had to do that to check to make sure that the baby was okay. One, that I wasn't losing any amniotic fluid, and to make sure that because of that cervical sludge, that the baby didn't have like any signs of like retardation or anything like that.
So they were putting there was a camera in the needle?
No, they just drew some of my amniotic fluid out of it. Yes. Okay, so cool. They did it.
I had to get that done with Star. They said it was because I was pregnant so young.
So basically they did that. They took the fluid, they took a bunch of different blood work, things like that. Needless to say, they came back and told me I had one option. And that was to get rid of my baby pretty much at 24 weeks. And I'm looking like, what? This baby is moving inside of me. Not doing that. I literally was in a hospital for probably about a week trying to make a decision. They're like, well, here's what the thing is. Either you're going to get rid of this baby, or this cervical sludge is going to make you become septic and kill you.
Wow.
So it's either you or a baby. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I got one kid already. I don't want to make this choice. Like, this is crazy. So me just being the person that I am, doing my due diligence, asking questions, just being an advocate for myself, I asked every nurse, every doctor, like, what does this mean? And what can happen if this, what if I do this? What can happen? Or what if I do that? What can happen? They all try to stick to the same storyline, whatever the case may be. So I reached out to my aunt, who was a nurse in New York, and I was explaining everything to her. She was like, all right, let me get some information. I'll call you back. She said, leave that hospital and we'll get a second opinion. But you know how these hospitals do. They like, oh, you can't sign out, blah, blah, blah. Lies. But you can't pick it up. Either way, I still stayed there. And my aunt told me to have them go back and check the lab work. Long story short, my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, he went home. He had been in the hospital with me all of those days. And now I'm getting ready to go do this procedure to get rid of my child at 24 weeks. When I tell you, God is so good. He is amazing. Like, on his way back to me, he went home, get a shower, whatever. He came back. He was on his way back. He got pulled over. He was literally 5 minutes from the hospital. He got pulled over because my registration had expired that day before or something crazy, right? Within that time period that he got pulled over and got back to the hospital, every doctor, nurse, hospital representative was in my room and said, ma'am, we got good news and we got bad news. The good news is you don't have to go through with this. The bad news is our lab fucked up, literally in those words. Basically, the lab contaminated my specimen and would have had me go push a whole baby out just for it to be a stillborn. And for no reason. So, yes, that was number 2.
That's the story.
Number 3, I know y'all probably thinking like, damn, well, what the fuck? Why do you want to have more kids? However,
thank you to those who joining us still and keeping with the show. All right, go ahead.
So number three now. Everything was all good. Still did the preventative action. Got my SIPs, stitched up, all of that.
We already knew.
We already knew it was gonna happen.
Right.
All of these things. They then gave me something called progesterone, which is given for people who go into preterm labor, don't know why, whatever the case may be. They give that so to hold the pregnancy a little longer because progesterone needs to be produced in order for you to keep the baby inside. Cool. They gave me the vaginal progesterone every day. Got to put it up there. All right, cool. At 29 weeks, my mucus plug came out. I'm like, oh,
damn.
This just doesn't end, does it? So 29 weeks, mucus plug came out. I go to the hospital. I'm a laborer. I have no contractions whatsoever. I feel nothing. I get there, they put the monitors on me. They was like, yo, you don't feel that? I'm like, no. They was like, your contractions is literally 2 minutes apart. You're going into labor right now. I'm like, wonderful. Needless to say, baby was born. She went into the NICU. She was 2 pounds, 13 ounces. Another one of those miracle babies.
Yeah.
Because she went in, she wasn't due until April 10th or something like that. And she came December 30th.
Wow.
And they told me, oh, she's not leaving this NICU till April. Well, homegirl had other plans. In February, the first week in February, I think it was like February 7th, she was like, peace, I'm out of here. And I was able to bring her home.
Oh.
Wow. So yeah, all of my labors were all preterm. Obviously, my last daughter that I just had, hers wasn't as bad. I did, however, instead of the progesterone, the vaginal progesterone, same thing, stitch as well. But instead of that, they gave me something called a Makena. And the Makena is also progesterone, but it's in the shot form. And I have to go every week, get a shot in my butt muscle. Once again, trying to keep her in, hold her in. She came at 34 weeks.
That was your longest?
No, Zanaya was my longest. So my oldest was my longest term baby.
Okay.
However, like I said, all of them was preterm. Diana wasn't as exciting as everybody else. I think she was probably the closest to most normal pregnancy that I did have. However, yeah.
What about this pregnancy? How's this pregnancy going? How's the boy? No problem?
So,
oh man,
the boy now, he's on his way. This was a very, very tough decision for me because I did not intend to have any other children. And I just kept saying to myself, God, please don't let this be another girl, because if it's a girl, don't stand a chance. Don't stand a chance. I'm sorry. I'm not even playing. Like, I had to have a conversation because I was just like, look, we can't do this again. I can't have another little girl. It's just too many of them. They all drive me crazy. It is what it is, though. You know, as long as the baby's healthy, it is what it is. All right, cool. So, me, couldn't be patient. I found out very, very early in the game that it was a boy. Once again, like I said, this was a very real decision because I was like, figure out. She was like, all right, kids, that's a lot of kids, bro. Like, that's a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? But the decision went down. Here he is. He's on his way. Same thing. I had 14 weeks. I had to go get stitched up again. I got stitched up. Huh?
How far along are you now?
I am 25 weeks. I will be 26 weeks this week. So 14 weeks, I got my stitch. A week later, I had to go back in the hospital to get one of the stitches taken out because I was in so much pain to the point that I couldn't even walk. And I just kept saying, like, I don't understand why I feel like this. I couldn't go to the bathroom, like nothing. Like, I was in so much pain. And I was like, this is just not right. I've had this done a numerous of times. And this just ain't right. So I go back to the hospital. Pretty much, the stitch was too tight.
Wow.
So they had to take one out. They left me with one stitch. They've been following me and me cervical lengths and so on and so forth. So at about
April 11th.
So about a month ago, well, we know my cervix starts to shorten. That's a given. At 20 weeks, 24 weeks, around there, your cervix should be as thick as about 3.5 centimeters still. Wow. My cervix at 20 weeks was 2.0, meaning I'm almost close to zero, which meaning I'm almost close to dilating. So that was very bad news. Made me upset because I couldn't go see my girl walk down the aisle.
Okay.
However, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We're still pregnant.
Your baby boy is important.
But then last week I went to the doctor as well, and it went from that 2.0 now down to 1.4. So I'm still trying to hang in there, take it easy, but it's not the easiest thing because I do have 4 other kids, and which one is one. So it's just like impossible to just sit still or just not do anything because I mean it is what it is. Yeah. So basically, I'm hoping that when I go Thursday back to the doctor that they won't keep me in there because they did tell me that if I go back and it shortens anymore, they're gonna have to put me in the hospital for a little bit. So yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't really care to be in the hospital laying in their corny beds and I just don't want to do that.
With their corny channels.
Right.
You don't
I just don't want to do that.
Corny ass Wi-Fi. Like,
we just want to keep praying and going with God. And
we're gonna put the positive energy out there.
Every week. Baby boy. What's his name?
Yes, you're going to have a healthy baby boy.
Little Zaza. Little Zaza. We're going to go with God that every week that it just gets that, like, I can go each week together.
That positive energy.
For real. I just need to get to at least like 32 weeks. Give me the 32 weeks and I'll be all right. I just can't do the NICU right now. I just don't want to do any of that right now, to be honest. It's just a lot going on.
The mask and all.
You gotta go to the NICU with the mask. And the NICU is no joke. And it's just too much. And it's so heartbreaking going in that NICU, seeing all these little babies and some of them passing away. And it's just hard.
Our little cousins was in the NICU, both of them, Riddy and Ryan, and I never went to go see them.
I couldn't do
it. It was like a very bad experience.
I felt so bad.
It is a horrible experience.
Malaya was right in between 2 babies that were like younger than her, and like of course were like battling, fighting for their lives.
Yeah.
And when I was able to take her home, maybe like 2 or 3 days after I had her, so I'm all distraught. You feel me? Like these women, these other mothers are coming here. Their babies have been here for weeks, months, and I'm like, I didn't even want to be happy in front of them, yo. Like I didn't want to be happy to take my baby home because, like, literally when I was getting her dressed, a mother was sitting right next to me, looking at her baby, like, and the baby was so small, yo.
Yeah, they wrapped them in like plastic wrap.
In the little,
in the incubator,
in the box thing, in the incubator, and she couldn't even really touch him. She was just talking to him. I just felt so bad, like, and she was looking at me like, and I'm like, I'm happy, but I ain't trying to be too happy in front of her. Like, you feel me? I felt so bad for her.
That is one of the worst feelings.
I felt so bad.
Worst things you can go through as a mom, like. I feel like just the feeling of having your baby in there in the incubator
and I couldn't take her home.
Can't take her home, like that alone is just like.
Well, Malaya wasn't in an incubator, thank God. They were just trying to monitor her heart, saying that she was breathing, her lungs, she was breathing too fast.
Yeah. Well, I had 2 that went in the NICU. The first one, I completely lost it. I legit was straight postpartum depression when I had my second daughter, like. Straight. I literally came home. I was cussing everybody out, using all types of swear words because I just couldn't understand for the life of me, like, why am I here? My kid is there.
Yeah.
But honestly and truthfully, like I said, there's always God's time and God's plan because she prepared me for that third baby that had to be in the NICU for 2 months. And when I felt so much more calm and more relaxed and okay with the fact that she had to be there. And then with my 4th one, I was like, but why is she here? Like, I'm confused. Why I gotta take her right now? Like, what you mean? Like, I was so spoiled from having the other.
Y'all wanna watch her? Y'all wanna take her?
I was so confused. Like, wait a minute, there ain't no nursery. Y'all, like, they don't take her to the nursery no more. Like, what's up with this? Like, she gotta stay here with me all night. I can't go to sleep. Nah, like, it was crazy. But I've had some experiences, and yeah. I'm praying that this one would be a little bit easier. All of my labors were great. Like, they were all great. Like, the labor was no problem. They all came sliding out. I didn't get cut. I ain't nothing tore. Nothing. Like, everything was in labor was fine. Just the whole pregnancy is just trash.
I mean, every child is different.
Every child is different. That's the truth.
Different. Their personalities and their pregnancies, too.
Yeah. That's
so we're going to move on to question number 3. Which is, are we supposed to sacrifice alone time completely? Should moms be entitled to alone time with all the pressures of life, motherhood, spouse.
Need your alone time. You need your me time. 100%. You need your me time.
Say it again. Huh?
100%. You need your me time. It's not like you're gonna go crazy. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of nobody else.
Come on now, somebody.
I think.
Come on now, somebody.
It took me a while to get to that.
If you don't,
it took you a while, It took you a while.
I don't know what to do with myself. Like, I literally, I think this past year, I finally like learned how to separate myself from her. It took a while because it was like, I don't know, I breastfed too, so it was like an attachment, but at the same time, it was like I lost a lot of weight, which is great, but I wasn't happy with myself. It was a lot of different changes. Like I wanted to be the best mother, and then when she was like, I couldn't separate. I had like separation anxiety.
Me too.
I still kind of do, but now I'm like, what did I used to do before I had her? And then I'm like, I don't want to do, and I don't.
You gotta remember that though. You have to remember that.
I know.
You have to remember that.
Now that it's summer, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I definitely know I need me time. It's just sometimes I'm like, all right, just come along, because it's weird, because like, especially with COVID, we've been in a house. Like, it's like I don't even know where to go without like. So now I just, for me, my me time is like just going for a walk some days, or just like, because I'm in the city, so a little bit, so it's a little different. But I go for a walk. I've been exercising, getting back into the gym. That took a while. That took me a while to get back into it. And I needed that me time to kind of like escape from everything. I went back, and even being in school helps. Like going back to school.
Absolutely. I can see that.
Yeah, so I agree with me time. I guess it was just so hard in the beginning, especially being my first.
Right.
I should have said different, but I don't know.
I can definitely relate. I can definitely relate to that. Like, I mean, I can say I'm a different mom now that I had, like, you know how the commercial, the Huggy commercial, when they say first mom, and they drop them all, like, listen, this is his milk, this is the blanket, this special blanket, okay? He has to sleep with it. And then, like, second mom, here you go, bye.
I can see.
That's seriously how dark it is. Like, that's really how it is. So moms or women out here, if you're listening or you're going to watch it later on a YouTube channel, search my YouTube channel.
The age is
remember that this conversation that we have right now is so true. Like, it's just so true. So back to the question. I just feel as though that, again, with MJ, the alone time, I knew it was necessary. Like, I knew I was like, oh, I miss like being just Whitney and not mom. Like, I miss just being like the crazy me. I can't be. I mean, I could be the crazy me now because my kid's a little older now. But like, when I was the first mom with MJ, I was breastfeeding. Extra clingy with him. And then when I was not around him, all I could do was like. It was weird, like separation anxiety. Like, I couldn't even really have a good time because I'm texting Malcolm like, "You okay? What's the baby? What are you doing now? Did he eat? So send me pictures. Pictures. I need pictures now. Like, he not the father. Like he gonna hurt my baby. He the father. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, what you doing? Y'all good? FaceTime me. Like, I'm in the club at the bar. Like, FaceTime me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I should be out having my good time being Whitney, who the alone time I asked for that I'm getting. Now that I'm getting it, I'm thinking about y'all at home. Yeah. But now with Malaya, I was telling you about the 2 under 2. Yeah. It's a whole other wave. I don't know how I did have 2 under 2 at first. Now MJ's 3. Yeah. Malaya's 1. About to be 2. Like, time is fucking flying. And it's hard. Like, they both in their terrible 2s at the same time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And Malaya's a girl. And then she's like learning extra fast from her brother. So, and then she's like sassy. So it's different with her. Like, she's giving me run for my money. Like, I'm gonna have to send her to her grandmother real quick. Like, she be trying me. Like, Malaya be trying me. Like, it's just different. So now be a long time, I'll be like, yeah, bye. And I'm not calling nobody. I ain't texting nobody. I might text you like, what y'all doing? Like, I might text like, I love y'all. When I get wavy, I'm like, I love y'all so much. I love my family. I'm about to come home right now, babe. What you and the kids doing? You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna take a couple hours for me to do that because I just like it's a lot. It's a lot having two little kids at the same time.
I agree.
Like Ney, if I could give you any advice, wait. At least until she is diaper potty trained. Listen. Until she's potty trained. When she's potty trained, then y'all can start trying. Because then by the time you have the baby, she gonna be another year older. You feel me? It's gonna be perfect.
I don't even know about that.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
I got two little niggas in diapers.
My older kid,
not a go. Okay, my pocket is tight. Okay, I'm stressed.
Anytime. That is anytime. Let me tell you.
Stressed. Wait, Ney, sis, wait.
This is the only time I'm having two kids close together. All the rest of them are 4 and 5 years apart.
And that shit's still stressful. Wow.
Oh, that shit's still stressful. Okay, I'm here to tell you.
I believe it. I believe it. I feel like it's
still
so
stressful. No matter if there's 4 or 5 years, 10 years apart, or 1 year apart. It is still stressful. Yeah. Granted, it may be a little harder because you got two little ones that you got to try to
diapers and
trying to cuddle with and all of that lovey-dovey stuff with at the same time because God knows I don't know what I'm going to do.
Sometimes you don't feel like cuddling all the time. I know, and it's okay. You know, she'll be like, damn, what you all day? Like,
I'm just trying to get the one off my breast right now, and then I'm about to have a whole nother one on there. Like, and I don't know what's going to happen because I was talking to this girl and that I know from school way back when or whatever, and she had hers like back to back, and she was like, yeah, like I was interested because I know a lot about kids and pregnancy and stuff like that.
She said it was easy.
But I was like asking her, I asked her about this whole breastfeeding thing because I was just like, how did your kids do when she got pregnant right after with her other kid and she was breastfeeding the one? So she told me when she got pregnant, like, your milk changes, so it tastes nasty. It's different.
Really?
Right. And then it just goes away. So she was explaining to me that she was dry nursing for a little while, letting the baby nurse on her, but there was nothing coming out because mine's completely stopped. And then that shit was hurting too much, and I was like, yeah, no, sis, you gotta go. But she was like explaining to me, like, yeah, she stopped. Her daughter stopped, and then when her son came and she had the baby and the milk reconvened,
came right back.
Yeah. Both of them was breastfeeding. I was like, oh hell no. Yo, there's no way I'm putting a 2-year-old on my boob with a newborn. Nah, it's dead. That's dead. That's a lot.
Oh, visitor.
Hey, baby.
The visitor. You say hi.
Hi, Jayla.
Just like her mama.
You watched the Keely today?
Look what she going for.
Ooh, look at her reaching. Ooh, she's sleepy. Look, she's sleepy.
What's the matter?
Achille?
Oh boy.
I know Achille.
That's all she want to watch. Achille.
Thanks to me.
But yeah, like I'm scared. Like I don't want no 2 kids on me at the same time. Like I just need my space, one is good enough. I really agree. I'm scared of that.
I really live by what Roz said. Like honestly, if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of nobody else. Like
that
is
true.
For real. If you don't live by no other motto as a mother, I don't care if you were a new mom, old mom,
kids, how busy you are. I don't care what it is.
No.
You have to take time out for yourself.
I agree.
I take time for myself every night.
I wish I could do the same.
I fall asleep half the fucking time by myself because I be so fucking tired. But I sit there and be like, oh, watch my show. Got my wine, bitch. Like everybody sleep by myself. I'm like, this is crazy.
But that's best time, right?
I be asleep. I wake up. I'm like, oh man, I wasted my whole night. I slept.
I think like I find myself waking up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning just to have a few minutes to myself before I have to get up and get my kids up, get them ready for school. You know, I literally have to wake up.
Sometimes you need
like an hour or so before everybody else just to get my thoughts together for the day, because it can get real crazy. It gets real crazy, especially now with the COVID and the kids at home. You get no break. Like,
yeah, seriously. I think it's worse now because of the pandemic. And I definitely should have slipped a pandemic question in there, but it's all right. That's a good little.
I feel like
my days are Sundays. My husband get me Sunday because I come from Jersey, go home, I wind down, and once I'm home, nobody bothers me. He'll cook dinner on Sunday. I'll go take a long bath. I'm in the bathtub until the water is completely cold. Don't bother me. And I go to my little beauty room and I stay there for as long as I could until dinner's done.
I know that's right. That sounds good. I don't know the last time I took a damn bath, girl. But I don't have time.
Yes, you do.
I'll be saying it like I'm saying bath and I'll never do it. I got bath bombs and things and everything. I never use them. It just sitting there. I was like, I'm gonna take a bath. I don't never do it.
I can't remember the last time I had a bath either. That sucks. But,
all right. Okay. Number 4. What lesson? This is a good one. And Johnny, I'm interested to know that your mother funny as hell. Rosie, your mother funny as hell too. I'm fucking
popped up on here.
Honestly, your mother funny as hell. And when I see her, she probably gonna tell me off because I ain't seen her in a long time. Speaking of your mom, she was like, "What? I haven't seen you in so long." I'm like, oh gosh, here we go. Oh, Chanel saved me. All right. What lesson has your mom taught you that you now use while parenting your child or children?
Where's she at? Let me make sure she don't hear me. Say I'm playing.
Let's say where she at? Tell her coming alive.
I don't know where she at.
She's hilarious, y'all. Seriously.
It's live.
She should have been part of the panel. She would have us cracking up.
Me, I would say my mother taught me. It's weird because my daughter's only 1, but she taught me communication. Like, make sure I communicate everything with her. So it's funny because, like, she's only 1, but I feel like I talk to her a lot, like, about stuff. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it helps us bond a little bit. Like, I know what she's saying. I know if people be like, what's she saying? And I'm like, oh.
No, you know what she's saying. Yeah, that's how it is with the folks. Like, we know as moms what they say.
It's weird. So it's like I communicate with her. My mom kind of instilled that, like, come to me first with anything and just, like, open and honest. So I feel like that's something that I'm probably going to, like, lead with in my life with her. Mm-hmm. I feel like it built they always say don't be friends with your child, but I don't know.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. So I feel like the friendship first is always important. And I will also say, like, my mother also kind of, like, made me kind of have a lot of drive. So I feel like even, like, myself motivated will keep her motivated. So that's something that's up for me. So I think that'll be, like, a great way to kind of keep our relationship the same way.
I love that. That was beautiful. She heard you?
No, she's not here. She's not even here. Like, that's weird. But
oh, okay. But I love that. Yes. And speaking of the people saying that you can't be their friends, that was one of my points. One thing that I learned from my mom is that it is important to be your friends, your children's friend, but never forget that you're their mother. Like, don't ever forget that part. And don't ever let them forget it either. Because, you don't want them to be too comfortable where they being disrespectful. Right. When they get older. And I mean, they crossing boundaries. It's like, okay, wait, I'm not one of your little friends now. Yeah. Like, don't get it fucked up. We do TikToks together, but we ain't friends. I'm your mother. Right. All right?
Too. Like, I never wanted to disappoint my mother. So I felt like because we were friends, I didn't want to hurt her. So it was like, all right, well, if I want to hurt my friend, why would I disrespect her? So, like, I look 2 ways. That's why I feel like I'm kind of against that. But I guess I read, make sure we don't share too much information too soon with our children.
Right.
Trying to say, but I feel like, I don't know. It's just, like we said in the beginning, like, everybody has their own way. They're made to do with their child. Because we get the advice. Every day I get some other advice, opinion, something doing, something else I should be trying. And it's like you could be consumed with so much that everybody's trying to tell you that you can't even like think about it all. Like you got to do it the way you want
Or
to.
figure out what's good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of do your own thing and make your own.
Yeah. But it's especially well, when you were saying something about sharing things too early with your kids. One of my points was what I learned from my mom. Well, actually, she taught me without really meaning to teach me. Pretty much. Because when I had the thyroid issue with Malaya, when I came and told my mom about the shit, I was super fucking freaked out. I Googled the shit. I see Wendy Williams got thyroid disease. I'm looking at all the symptoms and shit. I'm like, oh, my eyes about to start bulging. I'm all, now dramatic. Now I'm panicking. I'm like, oh my God. Like I'm all dramatic and stuff. So I called my mom and she's like, oh, I had that too when I was with you. When I was pregnant with you, I had that. Well, you didn't tell me this, Mom. Why you didn't tell me? So I feel like one thing that she taught me without really teaching me is that you should share your history, your medical history with your daughter at a certain age, especially when they're sexually active and they trying to have kids. Mom, I'm 30, I'm 29. Like I was fucking up that you had a thyroid issue when you was pregnant with me. Like I'm with this guy I love. Like come on, like I might get pregnant here, or even when I did get pregnant with MJ. I thought that was a good opportunity to say something. Yeah. But like, listen, now that you're pregnant, I just want to let you know the things that I went through with my pregnancies because you never know. You may experience this too. Or even if your daughters are not sexually active, or there are some things that are hereditary health-wise that can affect teenagers, young women who are not pregnant. And it's very, very important for us to share and educate each other with our health because it's so many of us dying because we're not educated and we're not going to the doctor and we're scared to go to the doctor and we're scared to talk about what we're going through when most likely all of us going through the same shit. Right? We all the same ages. So talk to your kids about your health issues. I know damn sure I will. Talk to Malaya about everything that I've went through. I have benign cysts in my breast. This is the first time I ever said it on social media. I just still who gives a fuck? It's not cancerous, thank God. I get them checked out every year. I've been slipping the last couple of years. I ain't gonna hold you. I got them checked out recently. Thank God they still are not cancerous. But the last time I went to get checked out was like 7 years ago because I try to forget about it. You know what I mean? I try to forget about it, but then now after I have kids, now I'm like I gotta stay on this shit because if it ever do become cancerous, I'd rather catch it early than wait.
Catch it early.
So those things I want to talk to. I'm talking to y'all, my audience, my sisters about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm educating y'all about it. Get y'all breasts checked out, and I'm gonna tell my daughter, and I'm gonna tell my son too. Even men too. Get your shit checked out because y'all can have lumps too. Yeah. Period. Folks.
I think about you now. I think the one thing I learned from my mom is responsibility. Like I said, I had a daughter at a very young age, and that pushed me to be a very responsible person at a very early age. And I thank her for that because I try to push that with my children as well. My mom, in her words, she's like, this is your child. You have to take care of it. And I really, really appreciate that. Seriously, because I don't know what I would have done if at 17, I wouldn't have had that responsibility. You know what I'm saying? That alone was enough, to show my kids something different because now that her pushing me to be responsible has pushed me. My kids have seen all over the world. My kids travel. They do all different types of stuff. They're in all different types of activities and all different types of things. But that only came from my mom pushing me to be a responsible parent and making me be their mother instead of trying to take over the situation. And her doing more than me as trying to be their parent. So I think that was probably the most important thing that she taught me at that age, having a child young, was this is your kid. You're going to take care of it. Of course, I'll help and be there for you every step of the way. But she's yours. You have to do this. You have to raise her. You have to make her great. You have to make all your children great. And I think that was probably the best thing that she could ever do for me. Instead of like just trying to take over the situation and like, oh, I got it. Because trust me, there was times when, you know, the other side wanted to just take over, like, no, and I had to like put them in their place, like, nah, I got it. This is my kid, I got it. And you know, that seriously made me a better person, a better mother, just all around. And I thank her for that. That was it.
That's what's up. Mike one. What about you, Roz?
I think one of the most important things my mother taught me young was to make the same mistakes that she made, and to work on stopping the cycle of generation after generation. Her grandmother had her mother young. My grandmother had my mother young. My mother had my oldest brother young, and then I had my daughter young. So my biggest thing was to make sure Star did not follow that cycle, and to have not to put her business out here, but to have a 20-year-old that's still a virgin is a blessing in my family. So
Ney, shut up. Yes. So these girls out here trying to be city girls, hot girls, hot girls, all day, calm the fuck down. Be book girls. Okay?
That is a big in my family. Big accomplishment.
You lose to weight.
Stop playing. Don't put me on blast, Ross. I'm not playing.
I'm just saying.
That's a good one, though.
I'm playing.
That's a very good one. That's a good one. I like that. I like that one. So the last question I have is, if you could tell your beginner mom any advice or knowledge that you know now, what would it be?
Oh, I have a good one.
Okay.
Because it's something I had to learn myself. As moms, we do what we feel is best for our kids without asking our kids' opinions. X that out. Don't do that. As your kids get older,
don't do that.
No, you need to ask your kids what they need. Because we're only giving them what we feel they need without even their input. And then you start to struggle as an adult. You know, when your kids get older, they start to struggle as an adult. Like, I didn't get this from my mom. I didn't get this from my dad. Well, we gave you what we thought you needed, but you didn't ask them. So that would be my biggest advice. Communicate with your kids and ask them what they need.
What they need from you. Yeah.
Wow.
It's not financial. It's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual.
Yeah.
They need from you.
Wow. And that's something I'm going to definitely take in my journey going forward with my kids now that they're, you know, starting to mature, starting to talk. You know, MJ starting to talk more and Blaze starting to talk more. So yeah, and then when we start going into their teenage years, I think that will definitely
that's
come into play. You know, talk to your kids, ask them what they need. Don't just try to provide without asking, especially when they have come into their own person, come into their own being. They're maturing. You know what I mean? You gotta be like, what's going on? Like, what do you need from me? That's a good one. I like that.
They're their own individual. You're only going off of your experience and what you as a parent and, you know, mother, and, you know, what you don't and do want to do as a parent that your parents did or did not do. So you have to include them in that. You have to.
Yeah,
that's the only way to grow, really.
One thing I said was, oh, sorry, Jenna, you was going?
You could go.
You sure? Oh, no, mine's gonna be pretty quick. I was just gonna say that when I first had MJ, I was like, I don't know. If I say Chanel, I say I'm dramatic. Like,
dramatic.
Whatever. No. I was fucking like, extra. He wouldn't stop crying. He was extra clean, bro. Like, he was extra clean. I'm like, fuck out of here. Like, you go on your swing. Like, you on your swing, bro. You on your swing, chill out. I'm trying to go outside real quick. Like, I was trying to go outside. Like, I had his breast milk pumped. You know what I'm saying? So I had his stuff pumped, and I'm like, go on your swing, watch Achilles. I'm about to go on the porch real quick for like 10 minutes. I'm gonna come back in. He will be so clean, so clean. Even if I try to clean up or like, you know, not even just saying doing stuff outside, but just like, you know, cleaning up, or if I just want to just not hold him, he would just be so clingy. And my fiance was at work and I was at home. I remember calling him one time, like, you gotta come home, you gotta come home. He won't stop crying. Like, he won't stop, like, he just won't stop being so clingy. Like, I just won't, no matter what I do, like, he just won't. So, one thing that I will tell my beginner self is just to breathe. Like, it's gonna be okay. Like, I would, if I could, like, turn back the hands of time, like, I could literally remember the moment that I went kind of crazy, like, kind of ballistic. Like, I can't do this anymore. He keeps crying. I don't know why he's crying. I don't want to hold him no more. Like, I'm trying to take a shower. I didn't shower in 3 days. Like, you know how when you first get home, you know, the baby be stuck to your titty. Like, yeah, it's like, I didn't shower in 2 days. I need to just shower. Like, I'm about to go nuts. Like, you gotta come home. Like, and it wasn't like he wasn't coming home at night, but like, you know, at night, I'm trying to cook dinner for him, let him relax. Like, he been at work all day, and he's spending time with his son, of course, but we got the damn food. So it doesn't matter if the daddy hold him or not. You got the juice. Right, we got the juice every 2 hours. That's where he at, every 2 hours. So that's one thing I could tell myself is that it will get easier, and that nobody is ever going to love you like your babies. So learn from your mistakes, but don't kill yourself over them, because the babies are always going to love you. Like, I used to always feel like, and even now to this day, I'll do something, I yell at MJ or yell at Belated, and feel bad. Like, I'll feel bad about it. Like, damn, I really spazzed out. Like, because they be drawing me to a point that I spaz. And I be like, oh, I really spazzed. So I talk to them. I be like, listen, mommy apologizes for yelling at you. However, y'all both be bugging. Like, I just tell myself, like, for real, like, y'all be tripping. Like, y'all be going in on mommy. And, like, you have to understand, like, that mommy's one person, okay? I'm one person. I'm not an octopus. They start laughing. I'm like, no, seriously, like, I'm not an octopus. Like, you know, I can't do all of this at once. Like, they pull me every which way. So, and I'm so hard on myself. So if I could tell myself in the beginning, like, chill, like, it's okay if it's hard, like, it's gonna get easier. And if I could have told myself back then, bitch, you're gonna have another one in another year. So if you thought you was stressed now, you ain't stressed. You ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah, that's what I would have told myself. Janae, it's on you.
Honestly, I would say for me it was more so just staying present in the moment. You always hear like you gonna miss out. They get up quick. They grow quick. So I say that constantly. I do, and then she does grow up faster every time somebody say it. I'm like,
more of you. Oh, you bugging. My husband on his live. I told her that I already got you, bro.
But if I could just but if I could just stay present in the moment,
yeah,
that's something I would say, because every time I look back and I'm like, dang, what did I do? Like, I can't remember it. Like, if you know, kind of like tell myself, wow, that's what happened during this time. I can't like, I don't even allow myself to stay present. So if I could go back, wow, stay present, and it actually makes me realize that now I need to enjoy every moment with my daughter. And so another thing is just like faith, because I was always in a position where I felt like, okay, I always want things to get better. So I have to, like, I started telling myself, I need to just stay in faith, like, with our relationship, with her growth. So I want to continue that for myself. So, like, in that process, as she continues to grow, that's just where I'm at with it. So
yes,
yeah.
And you know what? Something that your mom told me the last time I saw you and your mom, she told me something that stuck with me, and it stuck with me ever since. And I swear, she plays in my mind very often. When you see her, tell her this.
I will.
That the last conversation that she had with me stuck with me, and it's probably gonna stick with me for the rest of my life.
Now I want to
She was like, she was like, you gotta have fun with it, baby. Like, you gotta have fun with it. She was like, girl, I used to be stressing out with Janae and her brother. She's like, I be stressing out with them too. She's like, you know what? Sometimes I used to be like, well, fuck it, I'm bugging out with y'all. Like, ha ha ha. Like, you know, like sometimes you just gotta laugh with you just gotta bug out with them or laugh at it. Like, you know, she's like, if MJ do something crazy or Malay do something crazy, instead of getting mad, laugh. Like, make a joke out of it. Like, have fun with it. Like it's something that you could probably clean up. You know what I mean? It's gonna take time. It might aggravate you, but like it ain't that deep. Like laugh at it. Like join in the fun. Like, and that's something I really took heed to, and I'm trying to work on. So tell her I said thank you.
I will tell her because she. That's definitely true because there's moments where I'm like, oh, I just want to just clean up. Come on. Because you get so consumed with the that you want to do and how you want them to be that like you miss out on again what's going on around you. So
Don't worry, be happy. Yes, don't worry, be happy. Exactly.
Oh yeah. I'll tell her though.
All right, thank you. I love her.
I think to Wick's point about stressing out and just breathing, I also think of the flip side as well. Like if I could tell any first time mom, like it's okay to cry. Nobody's perfect. Like there's nobody that is perfect, and all moms make mistakes too.
That's so true.
You know, we're not perfect. As much as we try to be perfect, you know, for our children and try to be the super parent, you know, us as moms got a hard job.
Yes.
I think I say all the time, being a mother or a stay-at-home mom as well is harder than going to anybody's 9 to 5 any day, all day. Like, it's a very, very hard job. And it is okay if you have to go in a corner or in the bathroom or whatever you need to do to cry that out. Because sometimes you do get frustrated. Sometimes you need to just be able to release whatever it is that you're feeling inside. And
it's not good to cry in front of the kids, so you gotta go in the bathroom.
Yeah, you need to take your alone time once again to let that out, because it can become very consuming, trying just to do everything all at once, and especially when you have multiple children and you know you're trying to be everything for everybody. It's hard.
And then be something for yourself.
And then be something for yourself. And if you're married or have a significant other, be something for them as well. So it is okay. It is okay to cry and know that no, you don't have to be perfect all the time. And I think that's very important too.
I love it. Roz, what's your input on this?
I thought I answered that question.
You did?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I'll make sure everybody answered. Right on. That was a good. Huh?
What's in that cup with?
Wine. Pinot Grigio.
Oh, okay. I'm about to.
Look, it's halfway, almost halfway going. That's probably why I don't remember. Shit. That's a damn shame. But listen, that conversation was lit. I felt real good about it. You know, I feel like we need to have these conversations more with other moms, just to, you know, relate and relax.
There you go. You said, can I join? Hey, what you got to say, Bow?
Right. What you got to say? You ain't Father's Day yet. You ain't Father's Day yet. You ain't about to join. No. We're going to have a Father's Day special.
Oh, you are? Yeah, let's see this.
Look, where's Shaquem at? Tell Shaquem I'm here for the Father's Day special.
I'll let him know.
I know he's down for the shit.
He'll do it.
I know he's down for the shit. Look, the daddy also needs breaks as well. We're not saying daddies don't need breaks, right, moms?
Yeah, no, definitely, for real. Like dads need breaks.
All
we're saying is that the blunt and the majority of the responsibility falls on us, because truth be told, ain't nothing like your mother.
Ain't nothing like your mother.
Like there's nothing like your mother. Your dad could be there. Anybody else could be there, but there is nobody in this world like your mother.
My kids run past Malcolm, come right to me. Mommy.
My kids too. Their dad sitting right there. What? Their dad could be sitting right there, right next to me.
Yep.
And they're all mom, but mom, but mom. And I'm like, but your dad's right.
It doesn't matter. Like you said, nothing like your mom.
There is just, at the end of the day, it's nothing like your mom.
How was your guys' Mother's Day? Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We 1 week late, but listen, this is our Mother's Day special. We getting ready to wrap up. So happy Mother's Day to everybody. We're gonna go around and just say how you spent your Mother's Day.
I got breakfast made.
Oh, you fancy? Yes. You fancy, man.
I got me time, so that was good.
Oh, what'd you have for breakfast? What did he make you?
What did you? Oh, he over here. Oh, let me see. What did he make? Waffles with blueberries, fries, eggs, grits.
I want sauce. Goodbye, Malcolm.
Yeah, he cooks everything. So.
Oh, that's what's up. That sounds nice. And you had me time too that day.
Yeah, quiet time. But I still had to work, so I had to work.
But it sounds great. That sounds great.
It was enjoyable, yes.
Good, I'm glad.
Mother's Day was a little bit longer. I
know, right?
Because once that one day is over, it's like, oh, all right, switch off.
Yeah, right. Like back to being everything on you, pretty much. Can we have Mother's Month?
For real, that would be pretty dope. Like
Mother's Month is just May. The whole month of May, Mother's Day.
You gotta read Malcolm's comment.
Talk about some hello.
He's like, hello. No, I'm ignoring him right now, Roz. Look, no, I'm ignoring him.
She said, we don't want to talk to you. Bye.
Put me in. Put my name in the streets. Yo, you love it. We're getting ready to wrap up. My husband is funny. Thank you for giving us the laughs. Rosalind, how was your Mother's Day?
So the weekend of Mother's Day, I was working in Jersey. So Mother's Day here in Jersey with my mom and Star, and then my brother took us out to eat. And then when I got home to a surprise where my husband and Corinne decorated the bedroom with like the party strings, balloons was all over the place. I had gifts, and I love blue crab, so I had blue crab. I had a long bag, like a long bathtub for like an hour and a half.
Oh, I can't wait for Ella to do stuff for me like that.
Oh my God, that sounds very similar. I was telling her that sounds very similar to my Mother's Day, except for the streams and stuff. Shout out to Shakeen and your daughter for doing that. That's beautiful.
When I walked in, I was like, "Oh, Corinne, you did a good job." And he was like, I put the decorations up," and I was like,
He wanted his credit, child. Okay, he said, Corinne, let's get out of here. I did that too. Don't try to do that. Don't try to take credit. Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, my Mother's Day weekend was litty. Saturday, I went out with my good Judy, as she would call me, Keena. I went out with her to the little bar, just a alone time. So I got my little alone time with my friend. And then the next day I spent actual Mother's Day. I spent, of course, at home with my family, my son, my daughter, and my husband. And I told my husband I wanted crab legs on the grill, and he came and delivered, child. And they were so good. I love crab. Like, that's my favorite ever. I can eat crab every day, like, of my life. I won't ever get sick of crab, period. Like, so that was like the best Mother's Day ever. I had my champagne and my wine.
You good to go?
Yeah. About you now? I know you had no damn crab because you don't like seafood.
Sorry, I can't get with
But
it.
you had some steak.
I did.
This, see, that's crazy. I called it.
I
love steak. Steak is my favorite. So this Mother's Day, I didn't really do much because for obvious reasons, I can't really go many places and do much things. Just stayed in, chill, relaxed, got roses. It was kind of special though because my daughter, the oldest one, and my 11-year-old both went and took their own money this time and went and bought me Mother's Day stuff. Aww. Obviously, my husband bought, the flowers and cards and stuff like that as well, but it made me feel really good and very appreciated that my oldest two took their own earnings that they had and went and thought about me and went and did their own thing and bought their own stuff with their own money. So that made me feel good.
That's so sweet.
But yeah, other than that, I just chill. I had my steak. Rested with my feet.
Yes,
pretty much it.
Yes, steak. Well, listen. I'm glad that we all had beautiful Mother's Days. That's that wine, child. Because we all deserve it. And I thank you all for joining me this evening on episode 7 of Ney Ney's Nonsense. We discussed motherhood. I mean, if you missed it, go to my bio, click the link to my YouTube channel to watch the episode. But Janae, Rosalind, Chanel, thank you, beautiful ladies, so much for giving your time to me tonight. And my viewers, I really, really appreciate you guys supporting my platform.
Sidebar, this is what we was talking about. Kids get on your nerves too.
They text me right
now.
my
15-year-old daughter is texting me at 11 o'clock at night asking me, did I book her hair appointment?
15 years old.
Why?
I'm not ready for it.
Asking me this at 11.
I ain't ready. You ready?
Like, it's 11
Janae, you ready for that?
I'm preparing myself. I'm just thinking, listening to y'all. I'm like, okay.
I ain't ready for that.
Of all things she could ask me, Mom, did you book my appointment at 11 o'clock at night?
Girl, bye.
That's just preparing.
Yeah, pray for me.
Oh my gosh. Well, make sure everybody that's watching this video, you make sure you follow all of my guests that are here today. And you make sure you join us for the next episode 8 of Ney Ney's Nonsense. It's going to be at the beginning of June. I'm going to let y'all know what the topic is going to be. You know, I got a couple things under my belt. And also, Rosalind, let's know a little bit about your show. Go ahead and plug that, sis. Hold on. Go ahead and plug that, sis. Because, you know what I'm saying? I'm all about supporting my queens. Go ahead and plug your podcast,
Hey, we
sis.
have the Coffee and Tea Talk podcast, but it's only on stereo. So it's not a video, it's a podcast. And you have to download the app stereo, and it's with me and my best friend Coley.
Yes.
And go to Coffee and Tea Talk show on Instagram and go directly to the link.
And hopefully, you know what I'm saying, one day I'll be a special guest. Janae was a special guest. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I could be a special guest one day.
Yes.
Because I come with the energy.
Yes,
You do.
As long as I have the wine.
No, stop.
Listen, we out of here, man. I love y'all.
You.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for all the viewers. We're wrapping it up. Episode 7. Ney Ney's Nonsense. Bye, guys. I love you. Nice meeting you guys.
Bye-bye. Love.
Oh, Prego.